There we go. I'm so excited to start Read Aloud with you again. We had so much fun reading Charlie and the Chocolate Factory yesterday. Yesterday we read chapter 16 called the Oompa Loompas. Today we're going to read chapter 17. It is not in your packet, okay? It is not in your packet. None of you have this, which is great because it means that we can all look at the screen and we can all learn together. And there's not a situation where some of us have the material and some of us don't. So all I want to see from you right now is that your hands are folded on the table. You are staring at the screen and your body is calm. So I'm looking at friends, Summer, who are sitting at their desk looking calm and not moving around their bodies or their packets because, Jaden Castillo, you do not have the packet. So spotlighting Aaliyah because she looks like a fourth grader. She's not flopping a packet around. Her hands are folded. Spotlighting Caitlin, just like we have for almost every single lesson because she looks so good. Jaden, way to fix it. Spotlighting you. Beautiful, beautiful job. Really nice work. Great. So Ariani, we are all going to read today a new chapter of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm going to put it on my screen. I have two important announcements for you. Number one is this. During this remote learning that we've been doing, we're going to have special guest readers, not just of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but of other books too. If you're interested in going to guest readers, to mystery readers, you need to have perfect attendance all day, which all of you have had almost. But you also need to make really good choices, like not drawing on screens and sitting, Jaden, with your hands folded and your eyes tracking the entire time. I have a feature on my computer that lets me see who is writing on the screen. So if you're making a choice to write on the screen, it will actually show me your name, and I would have to say something in front of the whole entire grade, which would be really sad. So if you want to be able to go to special guest readers this week and lunch bunches next week, make great decisions while we read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory today. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen with you right now. Great, so on my screen, okay, so I can see that whoever has a Kindle Fire was the one writing on the whiteboard. Stop it now if you are Kindle Fire, or we will call you at home right now. Great. So we are going to start chapter 17 today. Chapter 17 is called Augustus Gloop Goes Up the Pipe. As you think about what happened yesterday, give me a thumbs up if you have an idea of what might happen in this chapter. Give me a thumbs up. Ooh, love those thumbs. Going over to Jordan. Or to Braden, sorry. Braden, what do you think? I'm unmuting you. What do you think might happen today? Go ahead, Jordan.
What I think might happen today is Augustus might actually accidentally fall into the chocolate river, and then might go all the way up to the pipes and see where the pipes go, where all the chocolate goes.
Oh, so we might go into the factory through the pipes. I should see you evaluating immediately his idea. Great. If anyone has a different idea, show me that you add on or want to disagree. Going to, let's see, Sarai, what do you think is going to happen, sweetheart?
My dad is not home, so I do not.
Sarai, go on.
I think what's gonna happen next is that like one of the kids is gonna like get in trouble. I think by melting.
By melting?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Okay, well, we'll have to see. The ideas that I heard in both of your responses were that someone is going to get in trouble and there's going to be sort of a problem that emerges. So let's see what happens as we read today. Hands are folded, backs are straight. You are looking at my screen, reading along with me as I read the chapter out loud to you. Oops. Okay, so if you're making the choice to write right now, you know who you are, and stop it. Okay. Here we go. Augustus Gloop goes up the pipe. Went Brandon Crumble, stop it now. When Mr. Wonka turned around and saw what Augustus Gloop was doing, he cried out, "Oh no, please, Augustus, please. I beg of you not to do that. My chocolate must be untouched by human hands." "Augustus," called out Mrs. Gloop, "didn't you hear what the man said? Come away from that river at once." "This stuff is terrific," said Augustus, taking not the slightest notice of his mother, Mr. Wonka. "Oh boy, I need a bucket to drink it properly." "Augustus," cried Mr. Wonka, hopping up and down and waggling his stick in the air, "you must come away. You're dirtying my chocolate." "Augustus!" cried Mrs. Gloop. "Augustus!" cried Mr. Gloop. If you have an idea of what Mr. and Mrs. Gloop's faces might have looked like, show me on your screen now. What did they look like as they were yelling, "Augustus!" Yeah, super mad. I love how Umar is going like this. They were not pleased with him. Great, let's keep reading. Bodies calm and folded braided. 3, 2, 1, and 0. Great. But Augustus was deaf to everything except the call of his enormous stomach. He was now lying full length on the ground with his head far out over the river, lapping up the chocolate like a dog. "Augustus!" shouted Mrs. Gloop. "You'll be giving that nasty cold of yours to about 1,000,000 people all over the country." "Be careful, Augustus," shouted Mr. Gloop. "You're leaning too far out." And Mr. Gloop was absolutely right. For suddenly there was a shriek and then a splash, and into the river went Augustus Gloop, and in 1 second he had disappeared under the brown surface. Thumb to your chest, what happened? What happened just now in this chapter? Coming to you, Matthew. Matthew, I saw that you gasped. Why did you gasp?
I gasped because he fell into the chocolate river when everybody else told him to stop and to get out.
Give Matthew some shine. He fell into the river. We're going back to the text. Okay, "Save him!" screamed Mrs. Gloop, going white in the face and waving her umbrella about. "He'll drown. He can't swim a yard. Save him! Save him!" "Good heavens, woman," said Mr. Gloop. "I'm not diving in there. I've got my best suit on." Augustus Gloop's face came up to the surface, painted brown with chocolate. "Help, help, help!" he yelled. "Fix me out." "Don't just stand there," Mrs. Gloop screamed at Mr. Gloop. "Do something." "I am doing something," said Mr. Gloop, who was now taking off his jacket and getting ready to dive into the chocolate. But while he was doing this, the wretched boy was being sucked closer and closer toward the mouth of one of the great pipes that was dangling down into the river. Then all at once, the powerful suction took hold of him completely, and he was pulled under the surface and then into the mouth of the pipe. With your face, react to what just happened. He was pulled into the pipe. Yeah, look at Michael Cluzy. Look at Brayden. Brayden looks scared for what's going to happen next. I am too, Brayden. Let's keep reading. The crowd on the river bank waited breathlessly to see where he would come out. "There he goes," somebody shouted, pointing upwards. And sure enough, because the pipe was made of glass, Augustus Gloop could be seen. Felix, stop it now. Augustus Gloop could be seen shooting up inside it, head first, like a torpedo. "Help! Murder! Police!" screamed Mrs. Gloop. "Augustus, come back at once. Where are you going?" "It's a wonder to me," said Mr. Gloop, "how that pipe is big enough for him to go through it." "It isn't big enough," said Charlie Bucket. "Oh dear, look, he's slowing down." "So he is," said Grandpa Joe. He's going to stick," said Charlie. "I think he is," said Grandpa Joe. "By golly, he has stuck," said Charlie. "It's his stomach that's done it," said Mr. Gloop. "If you can tell me what important detail just happened, stick out your tongue." What just happened to Augustus Gloop? Stick out your tongue if you know. Coming to you, Miriam. Miriam, what just happened?
Since Augustus was very obese, he got stuck inside the pipe.
Yeah, give her some shine. He got stuck inside the pipe. Holy moly, what's going to happen now? Let's keep reading. Backs are straight, hands are folded, looking like fourth graders. Okay, where are we? He's blocked the whole pipe, said Grandpa Joe. Smash the pipe, yelled Mrs. Gloop, still waving her umbrella. Augustus, come out of there at once. Summer, put the pen down now. The watchers below could see the chocolate swishing around the boy in the pipe, and they could see it building up behind him in a solid mass, pushing against the blockage. The pressure was terrific, and something had to give. Something did give, and that something was Augustus. Woof! Up he shot again like a bullet in the barrel of a gun. He's disappeared, yelled Mrs. Bloop. Where does that pipe go to? Quick, call the fire brigade. Keep calm, cried Mr. Wonka. Keep calm, my dear lady, keep calm. There's no danger whatsoever. Augustus has gone on a little journey, that's all, a most interesting little journey, but he'll come out of it just fine, you wait and see. How can he possibly come out just fine? Snapped Mrs. Gloop. He'll be made into marshmallows in 5 seconds. Impossible, cried Wonka. He could never be made into marshmallows. And why not, may I ask? Shouted Mrs. Gloop. Because that pipe doesn't go to the marshmallow room, Mr. Wonka answered. It doesn't go anywhere near it. The pipe, the one Augustus went up, happens to lead directly to the room where I make a most delicious kind of strawberry-flavored chocolate-coated fudge. Then he'll be made into strawberry-flavored chocolate-coated fudge, screamed Mrs. Bloop. My poor Augustus, they'll be selling him by the pound all over the country tomorrow morning. Okay, scholars, that was kind of a funny line. Why does Mrs. Gloop say they're going to be selling Augustus by the pound tomorrow morning? Thumbs up on your chest, just like Maymore, if you know the answer. Why did she say that silly line? They're going to be selling Augustus by the pound. Going to you, Mommy, why did she say that?
She said that because Augustus is stuck inside the pipe, and he's going to the strawberry chocolate, and they might not see him, so he might get one of the chocolate, and then people might be seeing him and selling him.
Great, awesome job. Give Mommy some shine. Teachers, can you unmute Mommy and then shout out anyone who's sitting up straight and tall with their hands folded while I get back to the screen? Oh, I got it.
Batman.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Okay. Great, let's keep reading. Oops, oh Lord. Hold on, scholars. Okay. You think it's a joke, You think it's a joke, do you? You think that sticking my boy up into your fudge room like that is just one big colossal joke? He'll be perfectly safe, said Mr. Wonka, giggling slightly. He'll be chocolate fudge, shrieked Mrs. Gloop. Never, cried Mr. Wonka. Of course he will, shrieked Mrs. Gloop. I wouldn't allow it, cried Mr. Wonka. And why not? Shrieked Mrs. Gloop. Because the taste would be terrible, said Mr. Wonka. Just imagine it. Augustus flavored chocolate coated gloop? No one would buy it. They most certainly would, cried Mr. Gloop indignantly. I don't want to think about it, shrieked Mrs. Gloop. Nor do I, said Mr. Wonka. And I do promise you, madam, that your darling boy is perfectly safe. If he's perfectly safe, then where is he? Snapped Mrs. Gloop. Lead me to him this instant. Mr. Wonka turned around and clicked his finger sharply, click, 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 3 times. And immediately an Oompa Loompa appeared as if from nowhere and stood beside him. The Oompa Loompa bowed and smiled, showing beautiful white teeth. His skin was rosy white, his long hair was golden brown, and the top of his head came just above the height of Mr. Wonka's knee. He wore the usual deer skin flung over his shoulder. Now listen to me, said Mr. Wonka, looking down at the tiny man. I want you to take Mr. and Mrs. Gloop up to the fudge room and help them to find their son Augustus. He's just gone up the pipe. The Oompa Loompa took one look at Mrs. Gloop and exploded into peals of laughter. Oh, do be quiet, said Mr. Wonka. Control yourself. Pull it yourself together. Mrs. Gloop doesn't think it's all it's at all funny. You can say that again, said Mrs. Gloop. Okay, scholars. So why did the Oompa Loompas start laughing when Mr. Wonka said they had to go rescue Augustus Gloop? Why did the Oompa Loompas start laughing? Thumb in front of your chest if you know why he started laughing. Going to Miss Aisha. Aisha, go ahead. Why did the Oompa Loompas start laughing, sweetie?
The Oompa Loompa started laughing because I think they think it was funny that Augustus went all the way up into the pipe.
Yeah, absolutely. Go girl, give her some shine. Okay, hands are folded, backs are straight. I can see all of your little faces and bodies right now. Show me that you're ready to keep reading this silly chapter. Let's see who looks ready. Putting the spotlight on Ariani. Her back is super sweet and her hands are folded. She looks like an excellent reader. Putting the spotlight on Jewel. He also looks like an excellent reader. His back is really straight. Great, we're going back to my screen and back to the text. Here we go. Mr. Wonka, okay. Go straight to the fudge room, Mr. Wonka said to the Oompa Loompa, and when you get there, take a long stick and start poking around inside the big chocolate mixing barrel. I'm almost certain you'll find him in there. You'd better look sharp. You'll have to hurry if you don't want to leave him in the chocolate mixing barrel. My fudge would be quite uneatable. Mrs. Gloop let out a shriek of fury. I'm joking, said Mr. Wonka, giggling madly behind his beard. I didn't mean it. Forgive me. I'm so sorry. Goodbye, Mrs. Gloop and Mr. Gloop. Goodbye, goodbye. I'll see you later. And as Mr. and Mrs. Gloop and their tiny escort hurried away, the 5 Oompa Loompas on the far side of the river suddenly began hopping and dancing about and beating wildly upon a number of very small drums. Augustus Gloop, they chanted. Augustus Gloop, Augustus Gloop, Augustus Gloop. Grandpa, cried Charlie. Listen to them, Grandpa. What are they doing? Shh, whispered Grandpa Joe. I think they're going to sing us a song. Augustus Gloop, chanted the Oompa Loompas. Augustus Gloop, Augustus Gloop. The great big greedy nincompoop. How long could we allow this beast to gorge and guzzle, feed and feast on everything we wanted to? Great Scott, it simply wouldn't do. However long this pig might live, we're positive he'd never give even the smallest bit of fun or happiness to anyone. And what we do in cases such as this, we use the gentle touch, and carefully we take the brat and turn him into something that will give great pleasure to us all. A doll, for instance, or a ball, or marbles, or a rocking horse. But this revolting boy, of course, was so unutterably vile, so greedy, foul, and infantile. He left a most disgusting taste inside our mouths, and so in haste, we chose a thing that, come what may, would take the nasty taste away. Come on, we cried, the time is ripe to send him shooting up the pipe. He has to go, it has to be, and very soon he's going to see inside the room to which he's gone some funny things are going on. But don't, dear children, be alarmed. Augustus Gloop will not be harmed, although of course we must admit he will be altered quite a bit. He'll be quite changed from what he's been. When he goes through the fudge machine, slowly the wheels go round and round. The cogs begin to grind and pound. 100 knives to slice, slice, slice. We add some sugar, cream, and spice. We boil him for a minute more until we're absolutely sure that all the greed and all the gall is boiled away for once and all. And then out he comes, and by now, by grace, a miracle has taken place. This boy who only just before was loathed by men from shore to shore, this greedy brute, this louse's ear, is loved by people everywhere. For who could hate or bear a grudge against a luscious bit of fudge? Scholars, what is Augustus Gloop going to be turned into according to the Oompa Loompa song? Give me a thumbs up on your chest if you know. What's he going to be turned into? Looking for thumbs up and eyes on the screen. Going to Josiah. What's he going to be turned into?
He's going to be turned into fudge.
He's going to be
A
turned
big
into
chunk.
a fudge. Good. Very good. Give Josiah some shine. We're going back to my screen, back to their screen. Hands are folded. Look better than your teacher right now. Aisha, put your hands down, Josiah. Great. Let's keep reading. I told you they loved singing, cried Mr. Wonka. Aren't they delightful? Aren't they charming? But you mustn't believe a word they say. It's all nonsense, every bit of it. Are the Oompa Loompas really joking, Grandpa? Asked Charlie. Of course they're joking, answered Grandpa Joe. They must be joking. At least, I hope they're joking. Don't you? All right. So that's where we end the chapter today. Who can tell us what important events happened in this chapter? If you can tell me what important events happened in this chapter, give me 2 thumbs up so I could call on you right now. What important events happened in this chapter? Let's see, looking for 2 thumbs up. So many friends to call on. Going to Felix. Felix, what happened in this chapter, sweetie?
What happened in this chapter was that when Augustus Globe, he was next to the chocolate next to the chocolate, he fell in it, and then the pipes came and sucked him up into the pipes, and then Mr. Wonka asked one of his Oompa Loompas to help the mom of Augustus to find him, and then they went off to find Augustus.
And who can tell me, thanks Felix, and who can tell me what the Oompa Loompas did in this chapter? That was really important. Who can tell me what the Oompa Loompas did? Put a thumbs up if you know. Going to you, Amelia. Amelia, what did the Oompa Loompas do in this chapter, babe?
The Oompa Loompas, they helped the parents find him and sang a song.
Yeah, they sang a song. And what do you think the Oompa Loompas think about Augustus Gloop, Amelia?
I think they think that he is funny.
Okay, they find him funny. Sure. Other ideas. What do the Oompa Loompas think about Augustus Gloop? Josiah, I saw you disagreeing. Josiah, what do you think, honey?
I think they think he's like greedy and he's a brat because he kept drinking and eating a lot of things when he wasn't supposed to.
Yeah, they think he's a brat, just like give Josiah some shine. Just like we think that he's a spoiled brat, they think that he is too. Jewel, sit up now, make your back straight and fold your hands in front of you. Just like Summer, just like Jaden Castillo, just like Amelia. Okay, great. So now we're moving on to our questions. I have an opportunity for you to participate in the questions through polls like we did yesterday. We won't get to do the polls if we're not all listening right now, okay? So I'm waiting for scholars to be really focused on the screen, Felix, with calm bodies, so I know that we can all participate together. Great. All right. I'm going to share my screen with you again. Okay, so number 1 says, which statement best describes the main idea? Oops. Which statement best describes the main idea of chapter 17? That was the chapter we just read. So this question is asking me, Josiah, what chapter 17 is mostly about? Because I know the main idea is what the chapter is mostly about. Okay. So normally, if this was like a TA text, I would go back to my main idea, okay? But you all just told me that this chapter was mostly about Augustus going up the pipe and the Oompa Loompas singing a song about him. So I'm gonna write that as my draft now, and I have this really cool feature where I can type, and I'm going to write as my draft, Augustus up pipe, Oompas sing funny song. about him. Okay, so this is my idea about what this chapter was mostly about. Okay, so now I'm going to go and I'm going to look through my answer choices to find one that matches that idea. A says it's mostly about Augustus Gloop eating chocolate. You should be agreeing or disagreeing. Thank you, Amelia, for doing it right away. Maybe, right? But he wasn't really eating. He was more being shot up in this pipe. So I'm going to cross that one out. Go ahead and show me a cross out for A. We don't have a paper in front of us, so we're crossing it out with our arms. Beautiful. B, it's mostly about the Oompa Loompas joking. I think if that was the right answer, it would have mentioned Augustus, so I'm going to cross it out. Go ahead and cross it out with your hands right now. Go like this, right now. Jewel, sit up now. Abdul, draw on the screen one more time, and we're going to call your parents. C, it is mostly about Augustus Gloop sucked up the chocolate pipe. Yeah, that sounds right. And I know that without him getting sucked up, the Oompa Loompas would not have sung a song about him, so I'm keeping C. D, it's mostly about the Oompa Loompa song. Again, that doesn't mention Augustus, and that's what the whole song was about, so I don't like that. Cross it out with your hands. My best answer is C. Who can tell me in their own words why the best answer is C? Coming to, let's see, thumbs up if you think you know why C is the best answer. Umar, go for it, babe. Why is that the best answer?
It's the best answer because C talks about how Augustus Gloop went in the pipe, but the others talk about the paloopas.
Great, that was a really nice.
And
yeah, that was a great answer, Umar. Great. So my best answer there was C. We're back on my screen. We're moving on. Remember, if you want to participate in my poll, you need to show me that you're listening right here, right now, just like Josiah. Number 2 says, what is the main problem in this chapter? This is kind of an easy question, so I'm going to go to one of you. Who can show me a thumbs up if you know what the main problem in that chapter was? Going to Maddie Camargo. Maddie, what was the main problem, sweetheart?
The main problem was that Augustus Gloop got stuck up the pipe.
Great. So Zoe Stanley, what would I write as my draft based on what Maddie just said?
Based on what Maddie just said, the draft would be about how Augustus Gloop got shot up into the pipe.
Give me that in like 2 words, 3 words.
How Augustus Gloop got shot up into the pipe.
Okay, that's still a little long, but okay, watch what I would write. I would say Augustus
got into pipe.
Yeah, Augustus into pipe. So now I'm going to go through my answer choices, and I want you evaluating. A, Augustus Gloop is eating out of the chocolate river. Was that what the main problem was in this chapter? Nope. So my friends are disagreeing with that. I'm going to cross it out. B, the Oompa Loompas are singing about Augustus. What do you think? Okay, most friends are disagreeing because it doesn't mention the pipe, remember? And that was our draft. Augustus Gloop goes up the chocolate pipe. Evaluate. Yeah, we're immediately, Zoe Stanley, agreeing because that was our idea exactly. So I'm going to put a dot there. Mr. and Mrs. Gloop are worried. What do you think about that? Evaluate. Great. So my best answer, again, is C. Very, very good. Okay, great. Now we're going to get to have a chance to all answer the questions. So you're sitting up straight, your backs are tall, your hands are folded, showing me you're ready to participate, JL, in the problem yourself. Let's see who's ready. I see Umar looks ready, Sakara looks ready. Caitlin, you look amazing. I can't wait for you to see the mystery reader tomorrow because you've been so on it all day. Same with you, Aaliyah. Same with you, Jaden Castillo and Luna. Great. Okay, we're going back to my screen here. And we're looking at number 3. Number 3 says, what happens right after? You know what, we're going to skip that one. No, we're not. Okay. What happens right after Augustus drinks from the chocolate river. So this question is asking me what happens directly after Augustus drinks from the river, which sounds like the effect. Does anybody remember what happens to Augustus after he drinks from the river and can put a thumb up? Does anybody remember what happens without going back into the text? Zoe Stanley, what happens, sweetheart?
So that Mr. Wonka was mourning Augustus, and so was his mom, and then he got sucked up into the giant pipe.
Yeah, very good. So the thing that happened next, she says, is that Augustus was getting warned by Mr. Wonka and his parents. Let's see if we can go back to the text and find that in the text. So it says, Augustus called out Mrs. Bloop. Didn't you hear what the man said? Get away from that river. Augustus, cried Mr. Wonka, you must come away. So Zoe's idea that he was getting warned is a good idea, and we can back it up with evidence from the text. So with that in mind, I'm going to put this question on the screen for you right now. Let's see. Okay, number 1 is up there for you. You are just answering number 1 right now. Just answering number 1. What happens right after Augustus drinks from the river? Go ahead and answer just number 1 right now. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7. If you can see the poll, give me a thumbs up. Okay, great. So start picking your answers, A, B, C, or D. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay, now we're going to move on to number 2 and number 3. Number 2 says, which line from the text best shows that the Gloops are worried about Augustus? And number 3 says, why did the author most likely include the picture on page 73? Give me a me too if you can see all of those questions at the same time. Okay, great. So I want you to answer all 3 of them now on your own, and then we're going to talk about them. All 3 answers now. Go ahead. You're going to have 4 minutes on the timer. So I'm seeing a lot of people voting for number 1. A lot of people voting for number 2. You have about 3 minutes on the timer. So 34 of you have answered every single question. Good. If you can't see all the questions, you need to scroll down. Yep, I will show you the picture now. So number 3 is asking about the picture on page 73. If you look here, I'll show you that now. Here's the picture on page 73. Umar, stop. Looking at the picture on 73 to answer that question.
Okay, when you have an answer for number 1, number 2, and number 3, put your hands folded on the desk and give me a smile. You have 20 seconds to get there. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. It's okay if you can't figure it out, just try your best. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay. Eyes on the screen so I can see how we all voted, which is really exciting. And now I'm going to share the results with you right on the screen. So if you can see the results of the poll, give me a me too. Wonderful. Okay, so let's look at number 1. So for number 1, it asks you what happens right after Augustus drinks from the chocolate river, and most friends said D. Some friends said A. Who picked D and can explain why A is incorrect? Who can explain why A is incorrect? Hit it, Jordan. Go ahead. I mean, Brayden. I don't know why I keep doing that. Sorry. Go ahead.
D is correct. A is incorrect because after that he doesn't completely just go stuck up to a pipe. That happens like after he gets sucked from the pipe.
And scholars, agree or disagree? Does Augustus listen when everyone warns him not to go up or not to drink from the river? Does he listen? No, he does not. Let's look at number 2. Most of us, almost all of us said, for number 2 said B. The question was, which line from the text best shows that the Gloops are worried about Augustus? Who can tell me why B is the best answer? Thumb up in front of your chest if you can tell me why B is the best answer. Leon, go ahead. Why is B the best answer, sweetheart? Leon, speak up, please.
The best answer because these are the best answer because
So, honey, it's a little bit hard to hear you because okay, yours is a little bit hard. Leon, yours is a little bit hard to hear, so I'm going to call on someone else who can explain why B is the best answer for number 2. Noelani, go ahead. Why is B the best answer, honey?
B is the best answer because that shows that Mrs. Gloop is worried of what's gonna happen to Augustus, but it doesn't tell us that.
What exact words show me that she's worried, Noelani?
What exact word is save him?
Okay, I don't know about that. Does someone have a different idea? What exact words in B tell me that Mrs. Gloop is worried? What words? Going to Aisha. Go ahead, Aisha.
The words say that Mrs. Gloop going white and
yeah.
Going white.
Yeah, when someone goes white in the face, they lose color in their face because they're so scared. She was so scared about her boy. Last one, number 3, resetting our posture. 3, looking at every single face and body in this screen. In 2, who looks the best, spotlighting David. Look at that 4th grade posture. Who else can I spotlight? Ooh, Zoe Stooks, I just saw you looking amazing. 1, Alex, nice straight back. And 0. Great, so now we're all looking at number 3. Why did the author most likely include the picture on page 73? So we had a few different answers here. Okay, whenever I look at a picture and there's people or characters included, I look at their facial expressions because I know I can learn a lot about the main idea from the from the character's feelings, and I can tell about the character's feelings from their facial expressions. When we look at the picture of Augustus Gloop on page 73, which I'll show you again now, what do we notice about?
Still unmuted.
Look here, Noelani, what do we notice about his face? Thumbs up when you have an idea and can share with the class. What do we notice about Augustus Gloop's face when we see that picture? Thumbs up if you have an idea. Ariani, what do we notice, sweetie?
I noticed that Augustus' face, like, it looked like he was like enjoying his time eating the chocolate.
Agree or disagree? Augustus looked like he was enjoying eating the chocolate in that picture. Agree or disagree? Luna's disagreeing. Luna, what do you think, honey?
I think that that Augustus Gloop realizes that he's getting sucked by the chocolate.
Yeah, his face looks concerned and it looks scared, David, which tells me that he's starting to realize that maybe drinking out of the chocolate river was not the best idea. And how do we know it was not the best idea? What ended up happening to him? What ended up happening to Augustus Gloop that tells us that drinking out of that river was a bad idea? Michael Kuzi, get your mouth out of the screen now. Everyone can see you. It's not okay. What tells us that that was a bad idea? Matthew.
What tells me that that was a bad idea is that because when he drank out of the chocolate river,
Yeah, what happened?
He got sucked in.
Yeah, he got sucked in. Very good job. Okay, we're all back on me now. Hands are folded, backs are straight, eyes are here. So listen carefully. Today in Read Aloud, we read a chapter about Augustus Gloop going up the pipe from the chocolate river, okay? And we know that now Augustus Gloop and his parents are gone. And so now it's just Charlie and fewer kids left. So we're gonna keep hearing what happens to them as they go through the chocolate factory, but things did not start out so well for Augustus Gloop. Tomorrow, you do have the materials in your packet. Thank you for those of you that participated the whole time and worked to answer the polls. I know that it can be tricky to use technology. The friends that I want to give a shout out to right now are not you, January, making that face. Alex, absolutely beautiful posture and behavior and focus the entire time. Sakir, same thing. Mommy, your posture is excellent. Your hands are folded. Christian, he looks great. Matthew, I love that you were raising your hand, answering questions the entire time. And Abdullah, your focus was excellent too. Third grade team, do you want to give anyone else a shout out that looks incredible right now or throughout the day? Stop, January. Third grade, any other shout outs? Okay. So we are moving into the afternoon. You are responsible for doing your reading and your homework tonight. My group, we are meeting at 4 o'clock in our Zoom room. I will see my advisory group at 4 o'clock to talk about our reading. The rest of you, I will see you tomorrow. Don't forget to do your homework. What are you going to do tonight? Mouth it. And your reading. And your? Okay, beautiful. Excellent, excellent job. See you tomorrow, everyone. Have a good night.
My group, we are also meeting at 4. So I will see my group at 4 in our Zoom meeting as well.
And third grade teachers, we're meeting now.